welcome to DogStar.
Each week we sit down with a star of rap and R&B, and this week we have the pleasure of sitting down with Bvby.
What's up? I'm 05.
What's going down, man?
And I got some projects coming out, and I got shows coming out all summer, so this is going to be a really active summer for my career, and I'm really excited to kick it off.
Oh, we really appreciate you coming through. We know you're busy. You're getting busier by the day. It's awesome to watch. But let's hop in the time machine. Let's head back to the early days.
How early we talking?
Oh, we talking.
So were you born in Minnesota?
Yes, I was born in Robbinsdale. Grew up in North Minneapolis, my auntie and my grandma and my cousins.
Cool. And then who was like picking what music you were hearing before you were old enough to like be in charge of that kind of thing?
I remember the earliest memories I have of music is either my grandma and my cousin playing Michael Jackson, Elvis, or like my favorite music. You know, I love Michael Jackson. He does play an inspiration in me. But I remember my auntie would have these CDs that she would burn from, like, you know, she'd get burned CDs from her baby daddy and all that stuff. And it was a lot of like 2000s crunk music, like Yin Yang, Little John, Ludacris, a little bit of Eminem, just a little bit of just 2K hip hop.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like where I got the ear for music, where it was like 2000, that Y2K vibe was just what I grew up listening to. And it wasn't until like 5th grade, so I was like, what's Travis Scott? And that's from my friends, like, you just listen to old music, bro. We got to put you on. Because I was a kid that didn't have Wi-Fi. Like, we didn't have that privilege. My parents didn't let us do that. Everything that was music formatted was bought in CDs, or in my case, burnt. So,
What was in the house is what you had.
It was in the house, yeah. And I remember, like, growing up, listening to it, and then I got a radio, and I remember hearing Throwback Thursday, and that's when I heard, like, Eminem for the first time, like, Hi, My Name Is. And I'm like, this guy ain't talking about nothing. He ain't talking about club. This guy's just being a jerk on a beat. This guy's just a comedian on a beat for real. And that's when I was like, you can just say anything on these things. You don't have to talk about shorties and money. But I feel like that's a big thing with my career right now, is I always feel like that's the only subject that can sell. And I feel like once I got out that bubble, a lot more started changing for me. It's a great way to get people hooked to your name, but then when they get hooked to your name, you gotta be as raw as possible. And that's what I'm aiming for with Odyssey, is having that rawness and having that old fashioned of, you're not supposed to shuffle this album. You're supposed to listen from track 1, track 15.
And Odyssey is an upcoming project?
Yes, that's what's coming out this summer.
Okay.
So I just dropped this lead single for it, Broken Wings.
Yes.
Having literally no meaning. It's based off a dream. I had a dream where there's a bunch of birds and stuff, and I just was like, I'm just dreaming about birds for real. So
just abstract, good music.
Pure creativity.
But the message behind that one song to me is deeper too, because it's like, it doesn't sound like it, but it's kind of like the price that you go for your destiny. You want to shoot for the stars. You're flying to your destiny. And like, I noticed with a lot of the painful songs, like one of the songs I love performing now is Tonight. And it's a really dark song. I got off life support and recorded it the next day.
Whoa.
It was just, it was a lot of stuff going on in life. Really dark timing. Started drinking again, relapsing heavy. And that's when I made the song. And I feel like a lot of people love it because it's just true. A lot of us don't look for a partner for love anymore. We would rather go to a consumptions or abusing a substance that makes us feel love. And I found out when you go through a breakup or when you're in a relationship, that same dopamine is getting released as, you know, liquor, psychedelic, any kind of pleasure you might get comes from just having a healthy relationship. And I can definitely say that there's people who I've met and I'm like, I don't even want to drink for real. Like, you making me feel happy. I don't even want to be an alcoholic for real. And so during that time, it's a really dark time, but Broken Wings was inspired by that song, how everyone was reacting to it. So I put in the lines, I said, when birds are falling, they scream for agony, right? And it's also based on the idea of heaven will watch you as you go to your destiny, but they won't help you. Like, God's not gonna help you, he's gonna guide you. So like in the hook, I'm saying like, these birds are falling, angels are watching it, but they're not gonna help because they know they're flying to their destiny. And my grandma would always tell me when I was suicidal, like, you can't kill yourself. It's not gonna work. And I've noticed that, like, every time I did try, I'd always wake up, throwing up. I would be sick the next day, and it would drive me crazy because I didn't do my calling yet. And so that's kind of like where it is. Like, the bird learned how to fly. It did its life, but now it's flying, falling, screaming out of agony, but it sounds like singing.
Right.
You've never seen a bird.
It's beautiful to us, yeah.
Right. So it's more of like a circle of life moment for me in that song, because it's like, when you do die, it's not supposed to be scary. It's supposed to be like that blessing that you did what you need to do for that domino effect, that ripple effect for life to keep on circling.
Yeah, that is beautiful. That's one of the 2 tracks your representative sent today that we will play at the end of this episode. Please stick around. I wanted to ask, what role, if any, did religion or at least spirituality play growing up?
I was raised in a Christian household. It wasn't like really strict, but as I got older, they kind of got more strict about certain things. Okay. I mean, like growing up, I wasn't allowed to listen to music with swearing. Eminem was against the rules. My parents, here's the funny part, my parents didn't like the idea of becoming a rapper because they knew what lifestyle it can lead into. So I remember like in 5th grade, as soon as I was like, I want to do music so bad. All right, we're going to sit you down. This is straight out Compton. Okay, we're going to sit you down. This is this movie. Like they just sat me down through all these musician musics. And now when I get writer's block, I would just watch like a Nirvana documentary. I'll watch a Prince documentary. I was watching a Jimi Hendrix documentary before really sitting down and making this album. Because everyone started saying like this album kind of gets like they heard a lot of my songs are inspired by dreams. Like for instance, Broken Wing was inspired by I kept on getting these dreams about hummingbirds. And so that's where I was like, a lot of people are like, you remind me of Jimi Hendrix. Cam said it too, because I said I want my music to feel like a movie and not just a song. I want something like, I want someone to be able to smoke something or drink something and visualize. And I want my music to sound slightly different if you're high or sober, just to give it that alternative thinking vibe. Because I always try to make my poetry really to the core of me, but knowing it can reflect on someone else.
That's cool. Can you remember like, I'm trying to make sure we catch like the earliest phase of you being creative. Was it like...
It was 2016.
Poetry or writing in like school? Or were you ever in like a play where you were on stage and like kind of got the...
Show. So talent show, I was, I did, like I said to you guys earlier off camera, I did Mockingbird for a talent show in 5th grade, and I got the clips on my phone. Got a suit just like he had in the music video. I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna show my parents I can be a rapper. And I had no idea what that song was fully about. That song they should not let me perform in 5th grade.
Right.
Even though it's clean, it's just a lot of talk, 5th graders don't comprehend yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not 5th graders probably because the internet's all in their hands.
Right.
But for me, a lot of that stuff went over my head just like the rest of the kids. Not all of it. We all knew what it was mainly about. He didn't see his kids anymore. But there's some little hints where you're like, ooh.
Yeah, whoa.
Right.
I was not supposed to be saying that on stage in 5th grade. But
the center of attention, and was it in front of the grade, in front of the school?
Whole school.
My gosh.
I had everyone clapping to the beat, had people doing things. It was an amazing feel of rush. And I was just like, I like that, but I'm scared to do it again. It wasn't until DJ Cam shows where I'm just now like, now I'll be in my crib and just like, man, I'm itching to go to a show. I wanna perform tonight. So like, that was my earliest exposure to like doing music in front of people.
Yeah.
And then in middle school, I got really popular with the 8th graders because I was getting in trouble. So I'd get sent to one of the teachers, Mr. Pastor's room in Olsen, and I'd be with a bunch of 8th graders, and they would see me listen to music. And a lot of them would try to freestyle, and that's when I got into freestyling with people. But I also did poetry as well for extra credit in writing class. And that's kind of like where I got that. I remember in high school, I was in and out the psych unit. And that's where I really got in depth with the poetry and making it like what I want it to sound like. And I didn't like it because it was so dark.
Interesting.
It was very much like death idolations, drug idolations, just stuff that I really wouldn't say in front of people. But like people would tell me like, oh, this is so poetic and stuff.
It was almost too real maybe for you at the time to
express because I'm like still in high school. But as like I'm making Odyssey, right? As I'm showing more people tracks and stuff that's on it, I like with the song Tonight, I really noticed like a lot of people think like this. Like I'm not alone. And that's the whole point of it being raw.
Yes.
And that's why my favorite song is still Inside Our Ghetto. Because even though it's mainly about what I seen in Minneapolis, it's also like anyone, like someone in Compton, someone in ATL could probably hear it and be like, I know a couple friends that do that. I got a friend that wants to get a better grade, but now they're selling, just that rawness. And I think that's why a lot of people like my singing voice, because I try to put pain in it. I don't try to like be perfect with the notes. That's not my goal.
Yeah, where did singing come into play versus, because I believe you were saying that there was more of a melody to your rendition of Mockingbird than the classic rap.
Yeah.
So where did singing come into play,
I remember I used to sing to my mom to get her attention because she liked David Bowie and or stuff. So I would, sorry about that.
No worries.
I would try to get my mom's attention by, you know, them little toys, the little karaoke toy.
Yeah.
My first. I remember I would try to sing to her when she was struggling with her relationship at that apartment and just trying to make her smile. And that's kind of like when I was like, I want to entertain people. I was at 5 just wanting to be like a Disney star or something. And, you know, just at the age of 5, I wanted to entertain people because I didn't like seeing people cry. I never liked that. I knew what you're going through. And so I just always want to entertain people. That's why I kind of act slow in front of people because it's like me acting slow gonna make them laugh at the end of the day. I'm not slow, but let me pretend to be a little dumb because it's funny to people. I see it on TV. Okay, that's what everyone likes. They like this character. Let me act like that to cheer up my friend. So it wasn't until 6th grade or 5th grade till I realized music was the calling I wanted to do for real, entertainment. Because there's so many paths for entertainment.
And then was there like avenue, you say you're doing poetry for like extra credit and stuff like that. Was there any other avenues in school at that point for your creativity, or were you finding friends to be creative with? Or?
There was not that many. I was not popular at all. I was kind of like the crashed out still in 6th grade. Like I said, I was always getting suspended, always getting in fights. But I really kept a lot of the music stuff to myself because I was embarrassed because I was just like, no one's going, like everyone wants to be a rapper because remember SoundCloud just came out.
Right.
And so when it got to 2018, X got popular. All these people now that I worship or I just feel like, yeah, these are my idols. These are the people who make me want to do this kind of music. Those are the people that everyone likes. So it was getting to the point where the more like ideations I had of music, the more I was like, more people are doing it. I'm just gonna sound like a grain in the sand when I say I want to be a rapper. And I remember telling a shorty that I was like, oh yeah, one day I want to do music professionally. She's like, every boy from Minneapolis wants to do that. But I'm like, I can do multi things. Like I don't talk about this, that, and the third. I talk about my life and like how I want to strive. So like that club music stuff, for instance, like songs like Pink and White, Girls in the Hood, those kind of songs, like even Just Wanna, those kind of songs, I wouldn't treasure as much as the songs on Odyssey or any of those kind of projects because they're more of me playing the character of an ignorant high schooler or what I would have been if I had the money as a teenager. I'm not someone who wants to abuse my power, but I would like to act like I would because it's just people like to dance to it, I feel like.
Would you say it's easier or like harder for you personally to like make a club song versus rap about something that's like maybe exactly true?
The club stuff I feel like is easy for the simple fact is you just got to get like one quote from like TikTok or something. Like genuinely a lot of my club music gets inspired by something I heard on TikTok. Like it's just like a meme or something. I'm like, let me take that little phrase or something like that. And I think that's what inspired Pink and White. And it was like, imagine getting your shorty taken from someone who's dressed like this and there's someone in a polo shirt and all dressed up and stuff. And I'm like, bro, females be getting really confused when I wear pink. So I was like, I really do look good in pink and white. So I was like, let me just punch this in. I'm bored. So I was like, mad when I rock pink and white because I could probably steal that. And then the little double meaning was I looked up what drugs are coming pink and white, and that's when I saw oxycodone. And so that's when I had that double flip of I'm dressed up like a drug because I get them hooked. I get them hooked. They love me. I got shorties saying good morning on the IG. All these shorties trying to CD. They trying to get my CD, but they also want to see me. And so it's like that triple entendre vibe that I've been trying to go with my club music.
Oh, I love that.
So I feel like club music is a little easier than singing because it doesn't take as many retakes. But I feel like for me, it's not as fun because it's kind of like you don't have to put too much thought in it. And I've learned like the more thought process you put into a song, the more people kind of just push away from it. And so like a lot of people don't like the fact of a certain song sounding too simple, but I'm like, but it's a club song.
Right.
These people are drunk. They want the melody. They don't want me making triple entendres, hidden meanings, that stuff. But I found ways to do it, like with the Pink and White song and Get Your High On. I mean, they're double meaning songs. I mean, Get Your High On is all about convincing a shorty to do drugs, to fall in love with you, and then she thinks it's the sex she's hooked to, but it's just the drugs and the symbolization. And it's not a song I would act on in real life, but a song that like in the club people are drunk and they just like the melody. A lot of old folks like it because the sample of Get Your Freak On. So it's like, let me monetize it real quick. So
no, that's sweet. Yeah, fun that you can find ways to be creative in either situation.
Right.
We know now, at least on Spotify.
And it may be out of order with the, the re-release of things.
Yeah.
But the first thing on Spotify, and you look it up, it's apostrophe 05 Bvby. The first song I could find on there was Forest single. Is that your first song or no?
That was not my first song.
So what was the first song?
The first song I recorded for real, that's out of all of those, would be Forest, I think.
What about not of all of them? Can you remember your first song?
For fans, have you ever gone by any other artist names? Can you run through
okay,
them,
so in high school,
bro, I love the high school.
In high school, I had like 3 names I went by. So the first starter was Curly Dev because I was just like, a lot of people were like, oh, I love your perm. I'm like, it's natural. I'm mixed. And it's like, oh my God, I wish I had your hair. I'm like, no, you don't. But I remember I saw how a lot of artists back in the day had sex symbols, and so I wanted to, okay, my curly hair, my big lips, these are things people love about me. Let me make that into my artist name, Curly Dev. And then it went to 2 Curly Dev, and then it went to 2 Wavy Dev, and then that's when it got to the point where I'm like, I don't even like that. Like, that just sounds like a club rapper name. And I wasn't really aiming for that. My music didn't match that name for real. And there's already like a bunch of Curly Devs, and there was like another, like, there's just too many people doing that, right? It was too wavy and all this. It was getting too popularized. So then I chose Divine Da Vinci, but everyone wants to pronounce it Divine Da Vinci. But that had a whole bunch of symbolism in it that went over people's head. Like the D, the V, and the N were capitalized. D has to be capitalized, so that's Devin. The V capitalized for 05, my birth of the year, and the N being capitalized for Northside. And then I was naming myself after the Leonardo da Vinci, the artist, the person that came with all those theories and stuff, because that's who I am as a person. But I was also supposed to be born the same day as him if I wasn't a preemie. So there was like just a lot of like symbolism in the name. And the more I fell in love with it, the more people were like, it's just too long. Even my DJ was like, it's too long, man.
Special characters and stuff.
Not even like...
And then did you go straight from that to 05 Baby?
Yes, that's when I was like going to 05 Baby, because I originally wanted 05 Baby from the jump. Like since day one, that was like the name I wanted. Because I had the first song that I made that I fell in love with was called 05. It was like 05 Baby freestyle. And it was just a vibe. And I'm just like, why don't I just go by 05? But it just didn't rhyme. It didn't feel right. It felt too simple. It felt like someone else might do it. It just felt watered down, I feel like, just too simple. And then I fell in love with it because then everyone else was falling in love with it. But I already liked it. I just thought it would be a better alter ego name is 05 Baby. So now the alter ego for me, instead of, 05 is now the Divine Da Vinci. Like, that's the alter ego. Right. That's the poet of me. But I don't go by that no more.
Well, we are sitting down with 05 Baby here on DogStar. We got to take a break here in about 10 seconds.
Follow him, 05 Bvby OUTTA_NXRTH. Follow us at DogStar Podcast.
We'll be right back. Bow wow.
Bow wow. Wow, wow.
Welcome back to DogStar, baby.
We're sitting with 05 Baby. Learning a little bit about you. Got through the previous AKAs.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see you dropping the baby one day and just being 05 or, 05 for sure. Like 50 Cent. People call him 50. They don't call him 50 Cent all the time. So it's like.
But I feel like going just by 05 as a nickname in shows and stuff is cool. But like the artist name's gotta stay 05 Baby. We can't keep on doing rebrands.
Yeah, first name 05, last name Baby. What is your opinion on, or what's your advice, I should ask, to a new artist trying to figure out their name? Because obviously you want to call yourself what's true, but you don't want there to be 1,000 other cola bottle 50s. Right. You know what I mean?
I feel like one of the things I see a lot of rappers do, especially like in the SoundCloud era, a lot of these rappers went by either symbolization or they went by like their hood nickname or the nickname they had in the streets.
Right.
Like that's where the Dev came from, because everyone who really liked me called me Dev. They called me D. They called me Dev. So it's just like, okay, cool. That's like a nickname that everyone likes. But I feel like just going by a simple childhood nickname really could make you not only feel better about yourself, honestly, but it can just stick. It really sticks. Yeah. Or like just name yourself after a theming of your music. Like Eminem did his initials. Super simple, but there's like he's making chocolate music. So it was like that double thing. So it's like if you can find what your music's about and then name yourself after something that's combining those two things, that might be good. This is an interesting question. I've never been asked this question. But just naming yourself after something that just means something to you, or just like mixing up different words together. I feel like as a rap artist, that's really cool. Making up words too, that's really fun. I wouldn't recommend though doing the little stuff or like the letter stuff or the symbolization stuff. Like
where all my O's or zeros.
Not even that. I think that's cool too. I'm more saying like putting little in front of your name, or putting curly in front of you, or just doing something that mad artists do and then putting a different name on it.
Yeah.
Like even my idol, like Bvby, I'm pretty sure, they never say what he's actually named after, but if you listen to a lot of his music, he calls himself the Snowman. Who else calls himself the Snowman? Young Jeezy. So it's just, I feel like when you do that, there's like that 50-50 chance of everyone likes it, but at the end of the day, it's more of naming yourself after who you're inspired by when you do that kind of stuff. And that it kind of doesn't, people start to, it's kind of like the thing I heard earlier. They said, why listen to someone who sounds just like this guy when I can listen to the real one at home? It's like, don't worry about sounding like your idols or trying to slick tongue your way into being the next version of that. Like, don't be the next Prince. Don't be the next Jimmy. Don't be the next this, that, and the third. Or don't be the next Eminem, or don't be the next Jack Harlow. It's like you idolize these people, and then they go, oh, you sound just like them. And now you're like just sitting there like, ooh, now it's like they can just listen to the real one at home. Like they can find the studio mix version of me now. And I think when you get compared to big artists, it's also a really good way to find people to work with or find fans. Like when you're on dating apps or when you're on friendship apps and you're meeting new people, if they ask about your music, like I like to say, oh, do you listen to Strong Like Mafia? Like, do you like West Coast music? Are you into these singers? Oh, you do? Okay, you're going to like these songs because these songs, I've been told sound like these people. But my goal really was never to sound like Jimi Hendrix or Bvby or any of these artists that people say I sound like in certain songs, because I don't listen to Jimi Hendrix, but I do listen to Bvby, so I can hear it when I hear them. But it's just like, you don't want to get too attached to like being too much like your role models, because then you kind of get flooded.
That's huge.
Yeah, great advice, seriously.
And then sorry to hit you with another question off the back.
That's what he's here for.
But when you're rebranding, how'd you do it? How'd you pull it off? Did you have to pull everything down from another page, or could you switch the name on it? Or
depending on like what you're using, I use DistroKid, right?
Okay.
So when I switched my name, everything got transferred to the new profile.
Oh, nice.
It takes like 3 or 4 days, so some songs might be on the old profile, but it'll transfer over within a week or month.
Nice.
Except for Apple now. Apple, we have Bvby and we have Bvby, but I'm slowly deleting on Bvby and posting on Bvby so it evens out.
Nice.
But that's the thing about rebranding, is it can really mess up your target audience, because Spotify's not going to tell you, oh yeah, they go by this name now. Spotify's just going to gray out the song, and now you got to search the song up and go, oh, now it's by Bvby instead of him.
You got to really...
So you got to find dry pockets in your career, and that's why I did the one more rebrand. I'm like, I'm in a dry pocket. I got all these events stacked up. Cam's even saying go by Bvby. She's saying go by Bvby. Might as well go by the name I wanted from the start, you know?
Yeah.
And it's really helped a lot of people find my music. But also, I feel like when you make a rapper name too, make sure it can rhyme. I don't know why people don't think of that too much. But when you make up words, you can make sure the ending is a simple. That's why I like Bvby, because it rhymed with everything. You could always chain it with something. But making sure you can like have a rhymeable name is so perfect, because people are going to gravitate toward it. Even if they hear you on the radio, they're going to hear Bvby back in oh, well, this is Bvby, clearly. So it's like, when you can put your name in your music and stuff, yeah. But that rebrand came because it was a dry pocket. And if anyone wants to do a rebrand, it's super like exciting, but you got to make sure you either have a huge following to do it, or you got to like have a dry pocket in your career. Like you have the stuff stacked up. Now let me unvote. But before I unvote, let me, change my name.
Right.
And I feel like that's another thing, is like the brand switching is not the worst thing you can do, especially with your name, especially when you have that following on Instagram, because everyone's doing your Instagram story. Okay, cool. But if you're already established and signed, it's kind of a waste of effort. But like, I know like 2 Chainz and a lot of other rappers had multiple rapper names before they got into the celebrity status. Right. So it was like, don't be afraid to rebrand, but make sure when you're rebranding, it makes sense to a sense, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely. No, you can't just, I mean,
You can.
you could be, you could be a new artist every day. Every time you wake up, I'm going to come up with a new artist name, drop 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 songs a day, and tomorrow I'm a new artist. Boom, move on.
The Kanye method.
But yeah, so because you rebranded, the Spotify started putting stuff in a weird order, did you say? Or is
it comes back in the same order.
Okay.
Here's the thing as me as an artist. I record a song or 2 a day, sometimes 3 if I'm feeling it, and I'll gatekeep it. Like I just won't drop it.
Keep it in the vault, right?
And that's what my sister was saying, like, why you got all these good songs and you not dropping them? I'm like, look, you drop all the good stuff first, they gonna expect better from you.
Oh.
I told Cam this. I told him, like, I got a whole album I could drop right now and everybody would love it, right? But now everyone wants something better than that.
Right,
so when you spread them out, calculate, like Inside Our Ghetto, that song was recorded in July of last year.
What?
That song was recorded over a year ago.
Okay.
On a Yeti microphone.
That's that strategy. I love it.
But it was a simple fact of I was ashamed. I was like, no one's going to want me to hear me sing Inside Our Ghetto. No one's going to want to hear that. But that's what tonight was for, to just see how explicitly raw I can get. Same with the club music. As I told Cam this, I'm like, I like your shows because it lets me know what I can get away with as an artist. It lets me know what they want from my mouth, because as someone who does say the N-word as a biracial person, you kind of got to be careful who you say it with, because people will press you. And it's like, I never, when I get pressed, I answer all their questions, right? I'm like, oh yeah, you passed your black test. But when you talk about sex and other subject matters, it can get really on the fence, because, for instance, in my music, I talk about my type of women. I like dark skins, I like light skin. And it's like, you say these kind of things in a club setting, these people are drunk. So they're going to have the rawest expression.
The reaction.
They're going to, like at Fable, that was when I was like, yeah, I can say that kind of stuff. Like I had done a freestyle, and it was a little freaky freestyle, but like it was odd because only females there. It was really any men. There's a bunch of females. So I was like, women will either react like, yuck, gross, or if I say it or deliver it right, they'll be like, yeah, he got that. Like, and that's the thing is, if you can say what you want to say in the smoothest way, you can get a lot, and that's the thing about music, is a lot of people get away with a lot of things they do because how they project it on a song. And that's why I be really getting mad. It's like we separate the artist and the music at the wrongest times, I feel like. I've had so many people be like, oh, you a player, you a pimp. And it's like, nah, I'm really loyal. I just like singing about this stuff because it's a quick door, it's a quick cash check. It's just a quick DJ spin. Right. Like this is easy money. Like I said, singing's a lot harder. So it's an easy doorstep to get into more events. Being multi-genre, you can get in different doors. Different doors pay different money. So when you want to do those live shows, you got to be diverse. And that's when I realized I could be a diverse artist. The first thing I said in my head, like, don't be predictable. And that's where a lot of this music gets vaulted. Like I said, I got a West Coast mixtape that's going to come out with Odyssey, but they're completely 2 different energies. Ooh. 2 different energies. And then I'm going to do it again next year, where we got a singing album that takes place before Odyssey, and another just mixtape vibe album where it's just me talking, talking crap.
That's huge.
But building the world, building the universe.
Yeah.
And building the vault, but it's not like you haven't been dropping stuff, because it's pretty consistent as far as it goes down. So it's February 24, Forest. March 24, So Much, which is a single off of Deja Vu coming up. March 22nd, Yellow Stars, which isn't off Deja Vu. Then May, Deja Vu comes out, 6-track EP. But only one of them had been a single before.
Right.
So it's like new. You got plenty of music, it seems like.
Yeah. I got something for everybody. That's the main goal, is there's something for everybody. That's all I wanted to do, was entertain every possible corner I could.
And that's fun. Is it, when you're making your next song, is it usually like completely opposite of what you made last, or do you get in like modes?
Oh, okay. It's like right now I've done all my singing. Like I want to sing. I got 2 more songs I want to put on my next album, not Odyssey, but my next singing album. But it's like, I don't know how I want to frame it. My voice is kind of tired from singing. Let me go back to Cali trap. Let me start, rapping again. Let me call up, the people I want to work with, see if I can get some features for this album, because it's really just a phase thing for me. It's like some days, some months I'm rapping, and then a month later I'm singing.
Whoa, okay.
But then the order you drop it can keep it look like you're varying it up.
I try to keep an eye out of what people are doing in Minnesota and try to give it like whatever they're not doing, I'ma do. So everyone's doing club music this summer. Okay, boom. Called up Dan, called up LJ. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to drop a club album. I'm finna just drop the sing album. And I'm finna make it long because I want it long. I want this to be an hour-long project. It's not supposed to be short and sweet. It's not a club album. So it's just like learning what people are doing so there's a reason for them to click on your name. Because if I'm rapping about dancing and stuff, they might already be friends with one of my friends and be like, oh, well, I like their music more, so I'm going to continue streaming there. But I like your music too, so I'll stream you too. But it's like, you're just listening to the same subject matter from a different vocal point. So it's like, I just try to find pocket, and that's why I said Inside My Ghetto, or Inside Our Ghetto is now what it's called. It's recorded last summer, but last summer, there was nothing really happening for that song to drop. There was no reason for me to bring awareness to it, I feel like. I'm like, yeah, Minneapolis is dangerous, but I don't think it's as dangerous as it used to be. Like, I feel like it's really got toned down, but as winter hit, as this summer hits, I'm like, it's disgusting out here. Let me bring some awareness. Okay, I got a radio slot. This is when I'm going to drop it now. Now there's a reason, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I always drop my music with a reason. Like, I wouldn't drop a love or an R&B album in the middle of winter. No one's falling in love in winter. I mean, you can fall in love in winter.
Valentine's Day is in winter.
But that's spring.
Oh, exactly. It's the kickoff of the vernal.
So you can, like, in February, you could drop a single, and then at the end of February, drop a love album because everyone has it in the air right now.
Exactly.
Like, right now, death is in the air, I feel like, in Minneapolis. So this is a good time to bring awareness to the problems that we're having. You got to watch what is going on in the world, kind of, before you really drop music. A lot of people tell to pay attention to big artists. But these big artists, they are being told to drop when their manager tells them to drop it.
Right.
So while you have no manager, you kind of have that power of, I want to drop this song in 3 months or 6 months. And you can really just observe what's going on and observe what's lacking in the industry.
Yeah.
Like, everyone, at one point I wanted to do a Y2K album, and I was debating if I should ever do it, but the more like it hits summer, the more Y2K songs we're getting. So it's like, we already have people doing it. They're doing it better than me, in my opinion. I'm gonna go back to doing Cali rap. So it's more of watching everyone else and making sure you're the odd one out. Because once you're the odd one out, there's now a reason to click on you. Like, why are you getting this status? Why are people talking to you? What? And now they have that realization, okay, this is different. And that's the one compliment I've always got with my music from all ages is you have a very distinctive sound. There's no denying that's you. Like, I can hear you on it. Like, with songs like Spin Back, it's very aggressive, but then we got a song like I Don't Want to Know, and it's very sad and slow. And so just having that differentiation, like that different vibe, but both of them both can hear, like, I can hear your voice in this. It's the goal, is that rawness. I don't like auto-tune, to be honest. I tried using it, and in my head, it sounds amazing. And then my sister and my homie would be like, what is this? Like, this is too much auto-tune.
Oh, bro.
And I won't even put the auto-tune way too high, but then it just like turns the auto-tune just off real quick. See how much better that sounds, Dad? See how much you're over here in the sesh working on this. You don't even need no auto-tune. So like Pink and White, for instance, has no auto-tune. That song, and it wasn't on purpose. It was because I couldn't afford it at the time. But I recorded the song out of boredom, dropped it, and it got slept on, but I feel like the more people I show now, the more people are like, yeah, this is awesome. When was this recorded? Last year, dropped last year. But like, that's the thing where music will get slept on, and then you show it again, or someone randomly finds it and goes, why aren't you pushing this?
It's like a rebirth.
Little Tank was stumbling across my music, and she clicked on Pink and White, and she's like, why aren't you pushing this on TikTok? This has so much potential. And I didn't think about it like that, because to me, it's just my raw vocals.
Right.
But to her, she heard it. She's like, this is just a vibe, you know? So it's just like, just getting other people's opinion, and most times than not, something that I feel like a lot of artists need to keep in mind is, if you like it, you're probably not doing it right. Because if you know how like human biology works, humans hear themselves in a different tone than everybody else. And so the whole thing, a lot of people tell you, like, when you go to studios, keep one headphone out, keep one ear in, all this, that, and third. I don't like doing that because it feels odd. But I've noticed with the songs where I hate my voice, are the bangers. Like, those are the songs people levitate to. Those I Think I'm in Love With You, that song, I hate my voice on it. I hate it. But everyone loved it. So I'm like, okay, I'll drop it. I guess I'll drop it. That was the first song everyone fell in love with.
Wow.
That was the first song where I was allowed to play aux at the smoke out. That was the one where like, yeah, put that on, Dad, put that on. So that's where I'm like, I really start peeping, and everyone does it. And I had an artist friend say the same thing. He was like, yeah, the songs that I hate my voice on are the ones the girls go crazy for.
Oh my god!
It's because we don't like our raw voice or how our voice normally sounds. Like, you talk for too long, like you start to hate your voice.
Yeah, that biological thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
so it's just like if you take the time out and like just stop doing it, you start to realize, okay, I do like my voice because they like it. And so once you start getting comfortable with your natural voice, it makes you a better artist because now you're not worrying. And another thing I've noticed is too, it's just like targeting an audience is cool, but like you're not trying to find an audience. The less you look for the audience, the more you're just raw and poetic or just being you, even if it's off beat, even if you're doing off-key singing, if you're just screaming ad-libs, or if you're just rhyming ad-libs and nothing's rhyming, and that's your style. That's what people get rich off of. That's the people who get signed by the labels. Trippie Redd, off-key rapping. We had Draco the Ruler, offbeat rapping. And it's just, those are the people who got famous with it and did it their way and got, put into their platforms.
We are sitting down with Bvby, doing it his way, baby, here on DogStar.
Follow him on Instagram, 05BVBYOUTTA_NXRTH. Bvby, out of North. Anywhere else people should follow you at?
That's pretty much it. You can find me on TikTok too.
Same thing?
Yeah, no, 05 Music MN.
Perfect. We'll be right back. This is DogStar. Bow wow.
Bow wow.
Bow wow.
Welcome back to DogStar.
Sitting down with Bvby.
Baby!
You're talking in the last chunk how you're recording 2, maybe 3 songs a day, and off mic you were talking about how you've got the mic at home, so you're able to record. Let me just run through this discography and tell me stop when we get to the point where you had your own studio.
I always had my own studio though.
Oh,
stop.
Always did. Yeah, stop right now.
I can tell you what songs weren't recorded at home.
Okay, yeah, let's go. 612 Flow in May of 2024. Home. Hennessy, May as well.
Yeah, at home.
VIP,
home.
June. July, Red Eyes.
Home.
Jeez. Ring Ring, July 24.
Home.
August, Pink and White, home.
Yes. Girls in the Hood's the only one that was recorded in the studio.
There we go.
Like, it's just, let's cut it.
What can you tell us about that studio experience? Why it seems like you do prefer
there's 2 songs actually. It's a feature I did with Quad Dope. Shout out to Quad Dope. 99 Problems.
Yeah,
I did
bro.
record in a studio with JTC. I recorded in his studio, and it was the first ever studio experience I had.
Yeah, what can you tell us about that?
It's scary.
Okay.
I don't think it's scary anymore for the simple fact now I'm used to like performing in front of people, but like even with Girls in the Hood, it's so hard to like let people know your creative thought process because a lot of these people are used to people just punching in. A lot of these people are writing down, and so I'm just in between of it all. And so I like, for instance, it was my first experience, so I try to write down everything because I was still writing my music at that time, but then altering it to a freestyle at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I would take certain parts and use one as the intro and be like, this is what I'm going to start with, and then I sing the rest. And I didn't mean to sing 99 Problems, but I think a lot of people liked how my voice sounded on there, and they're like, you sound shaky. I was scared. I was terrified. Got one dude over here looking at me like this. We got another dude eating like some Chinese food in the background. And the song Johnny Broth, I don't think it's even up anymore, but that was like the first song I recorded also in the studio that same day. And it's scary because you're looking for approval without asking for approval because you're saying what's on your mind as a freestyler, but you also don't want to push the lines. And when you're at home, you don't know what lines you're pushing because you're not getting them eyes, you're not getting the nods, you're not getting the laughs, you're not getting any of that. You're not getting people repeat your last words. You're by yourself. So you kind of just don't know if you're crossing boundaries. But when you're in the studio, you either have someone cheering you on and boosting your confidence too much, or you kind of forget what you like. You get scared to say what's on your mind because you don't want them thinking that's you as a person.
Right.
So with Girls in the Hood, I was with Dank, Danny K. I was with LJ the GOAT.
Okay.
And I was with 5KZ, I think his name is. He's an engineer. He was the person that recorded me. And I was just like keep on playing, delete that, keep on playing the instruments. And it was kind of hard for me to explain to them, like, no, I'm just flow testing right now. I'm just testing the waters, what flow I can go with.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people love my flow. And the reason I think a lot of people love my flow, I think they don't realize, is I don't really work on the words more than anything. I work on the flow and the catchiness. Like, I try to make a tailor-made flow. A rapper named Six the Prophet said I got a tailor-made flow. And I definitely would agree with that because I do find the words in the beat. I don't know how to describe it, but the beat tells me what to say. This beat sounds like this. Okay, that's when I heard that. When I heard the beat at home, the first thing I popped in, Girls in the Hood, was 05. Okay, this is giving Girls on this is giving like dancing vibes. Let me go with that. But a lot of the beats I be finding really be telling me what to write about. So if I'm not writing the music, I never even use my lyrics that I write down. I think there's only one song in the album, that whole album, that I wrote down for real, and that was the song 10,000. Song 10,000 Songs. That one I did write down the first and the second verse, but the second verse after I get to like, even when I mention, because it's about like love, is it good or bad? 1,000 songs telling me why love feels good, and they play in my head when you're gone. 1,000 love songs telling me why love is wrong, and they still play when you're gone. It's kind of like that whole, like, you like the music, but you also hear from people like, oh, love's evil. And I mean, we don't have that many love songs really coming out. I think like the last love song that I've listened to that's brand new is OGC and Lil TJ's Baby Girl. And then when you listen to it, you're like, this is not a love song. Baby Girl, you know my situation. And then you're talking about cheating on her. So it's like, this isn't really that love element we have in music anymore. And I think R&B is a dead genre, and so is soul music. And so that's kind of what's also making me push Odyssey and the next project that I have, Bolted.
What are the benefits of recording at home other than the restrictions of other people's judgment? Like when you have an idea, can you just run into the studio at home and record
more time. You're not paying for that clock.
Yes.
That's the thing, is I will work like the song Inside Our Ghetto. I worked on for 4 or 6 hours at home. Not writing anything down, just retaking it, just taking different style hooks, different versions of it, and you run with it after a while. But when a studio, you can't be in a studio with like 3 other people.
And experiment
whatever you want. You can't test out as many things as you want. Like Girls in the Hood, I had to do 3 flows and then the 4th punch, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready for actually take this serious now. But like, I didn't think they're like, you could have had all those songs recorded and just had like 4 different versions. I'm like, I get that.
Right.
But I don't want to do that. So it's just like, it was just me testing out the waters. And I feel like when you're at home, there's no time limit. You can just do this till the sun comes down. You can fall asleep, come back to it. You can eat, you can watch TikTok. That's what I love about doing club music. I get a lot of inspiration from trendy TikTok.
Right.
And so it's like, you can find inspiration if you get writer's block during a freestyle. Versus you're at a studio, you're freestyling it, and now you gotta like actually
clock's ticking.
Clock's ticking. And I don't like the fact when you're in a studio, there's people watching you. And so it's like, you know people are gonna like the song, and it kind of kills the ambition part of releasing a song too. Like I knew Girls in the Hood would be popular, and so I was just like, this kind of kills me dropping it. But like a song like Broken Wings, for instance, no one's heard it. So it's like, no one saw me record it. So there's no expectations on people's reactions. Like if you're in 99 Problems, like this is gonna be, you gonna get a lot of stream, and that song blew up. Was Levi. That was Levi's most streamed song for a couple years. Our Quad Dope, the most streamed song. And we already knew it because at the time Lil Durk was trendy. And that's what they said. That reminds them of Lil Durk verse. It got that vibe to it. So it's like when people express to you what it sounds like, you kind of know where to go as your audience, who to show it to. But it kind of kills that thrill of a flop or a bop, you know?
Totally.
Yeah, no, I could see that. Outside in October 24, Encore with Quad Dope. October 24. Also October 24, Man in the Mirror, which is coming up on a project in the future.
Man in the Mirror?
I think so. It wasn't it? What am I thinking of?
But you're high on. You're thinking it's on Showtime. It's on the album Showtime, but I'm remastering it.
Okay.
There is a song, ironically, on the Odyssey project that talks about the Man in the Mirror. But
it's a callback.
But it's not even a kind of, actually.
Or maybe a call forward.
But it's more of a reflection of me becoming, it comes after, and like I said, you play the song in order. So the first song before that song is called Boys to Men.
Okay.
And it's like me singing from a female's perspective, telling me like, you know the answers to life. Why are you questioning it? I gotta, like the first verse is from my mom's perspective. Like I'm asking her all these questions. The second one is from a love interest. She's telling me like, boy, you know the answers to life, but you don't. Don't even worry about it. And it's like that progression of being a child to having to grow up and face reality, acceptance, of course, of maturity. Right. And then that's when you get to the song Going, and that's where it's like, I know, and like in the second verse I go, I know this is the biz, but this is not the biz. Popping bottles, champagne, women dancing in Louis thongs. Yes, it sounds great, but I know what music is at the end of the day. When we go to these parties, we ain't really trying to party. We just trying to entertain the guests. We're not the, you know, like if I got invited to work at Vanquish, for instance, my first thing isn't, okay, let's get a table, let's get it's, okay, where's the people I'm working with? What are we doing? How much time do I have to smoke? How much time do I have to get my mind on straight? And even in cam shows, you see me with the headphones on pasting, just playing the two songs back and forth, just to get my head levitated for that moment. It's not about making friends at these parties. It's not meeting a fine shorty and trying to chop it. It's like when you go to these parties, you know the art that you're pushing, and when you're at those places that you're talking about the art, you can't really mix them together because it's a business stand at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's like I got to be the man in the mirror and stay true to who I am. I'm not a party person, but I love working at parties, you know? So it's funny you brought that up.
Yeah, so make sure you're checking out all of his music on Spotify. '05 space Bvby is the easy way to find it.
05 baby.
So there's a ton on there. There was an album on Instagram I saw a post about called Studio Thoughts, and that's where I got the Man in the Mirror thing from. Did that get remixed into something else, or?
Studio Thoughts was a funny Kiki moment for me. I wanted to drop an album, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I just took a compiled of vault songs just to see how many people would like it and see how many people would want to see it.
Yeah, bro.
And that got turned into to Ghetto Icon, which Ghetto Icon got subbed, because Ghetto Icon was a multi-genre album. And then Ghetto Icon I deleted, and that's when I was like, okay, now I got people who accept every genre from me. Bet. Perfect. So the main thing is to drop Strippers Love Poetry too, and that won't be on there, of course, but it will have a lot of like the songs that is out in public are like Get Your High On and Pink and White will be on that album.
Okay.
And that will be kind of like the club album, the stuff that like when I'm working with people from clubs, that's what I'll perform for them.
Sick.
And it also has like a radio song, Be Mines will be on it. I performed that a few times. I love performing that song. And Odyssey is, you know, the R&B side, the alternative soul music stuff. So it's just sick. A lot of my IAG posts I gotta go through and delete because a lot of them aren't really 2025 planned. They're like 2024 visions, you know.
Yeah.
And they all had to get revisioned because, you know, I wanted to hold back, but I'm realizing I don't have to hold back, you know.
Right.
Hell yeah.
You're an artist, baby.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us, for answering some questions for fans and giving us a better look at your artistry, because it's a pleasure to watch your trajectory. Seriously, thank you so much.
Exactly.
No problem.
His representative sent us 2 tracks, Broken Wings and Inside Our Ghetto. You're about to hear those right now. Again, make sure to follow 05 Baby on Instagram, 05 BVBYOUTTA_NXRTH. You follow us at DogStar Podcast.
You can find me on TikTok also at 05 Baby Official MN, and that's where I just have yapping sessions, and you know you can find a laugh.
Hey, this has been DogStar. Bow wow.
Bow wow.
So many days where I didn't even think. Thinking about these bottles, thinking about these models, thinking about gelato that I caught outside of the little ghetto. Wait before I flew down into the little metro. Wait for the fame and everything before. Wait for today, ready for tomorrow. Looking for the days that I don't even say. Looking for the money, but this is not the change. So what's the price of fame? I asked my mama. She told me my soul and probably some other things. She told me a lot of things that I didn't believe. Now I'm seeing contracts in the letter bleed. And I'm seeing it all. And I'm seeing it all. I know my life is just started, but I know how it's just going. Birds are falling, singing for help, but the angels won't help. For they know it's just the time to receive they scream out their agonies, and it sounds like singing. This goes out for the single mothers and fathers that don't know that God's really theirs for the people's son. Trying to put food on the table, all the people trying to put the cable on the TV. No matter where you go, you can't get a 9 to 5, so you started selling over the night. You said you don't believe in that, but you believe in karma. So when she cut your back, saying, yeah, you the baby father, you looking in the mirror saying, damn, how could I project? How could I become an image that I never met? You start to regret every movement that you made. And you can't even eat cause there's no food on your plate. You break the cycle, be the father that you never had. But that's the life you wouldn't chosen. Knowing what it's like to not have a father figure, better yet a role model. Inside our ghetto, there seems to be a lot of shadows we can follow. I got some friends that sell this so they can settle. There's kids raising kids inside our little ghetto. I'm knowing young and still in Tahoes in our ghetto. Inside a ghetto, nothing seems to go and change though. Seems like more girl leaves the hood and it's so sad. I got couple friends living double lives. I got a couple friends, 1, 2, or 3 wives. I got a couple friends trying to get a good grade, but if shit fails, they gon' sell some good grade. I got a couple female friends that chose to go with lifestyle cause they wanna be a model. Hurts deep inside cause they damage individuals. Got a couple homies shot down with a deagle. Know a couple people that survive like a miracle. That's how life be inside our ghetto. Seen the repeats last cause the ghetto. You get the birds and the herbs from the ghetto. Never gonna change in the ghetto cause we let get comfortable. We got a couple people throwing up that beat right. We got a couple people dancing with that C right. It never seems to change and that's how it goes. So how we gonna change when no one wants to change? But it's okay though, we were raised in the same neighborhood. Inside our ghetto, there seems to be a lot of shadows we can follow. I got some friends that sell this so they can settle. There's kids raising kids inside our little ghetto. I'm knowing young and still in Tahoes in our ghetto.